One of the questions I always get asked is how do I trade the Mogwai reversal strategy off my mobile phone? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how. We're going to find a trade, we're going to take a trade, and it was actually a beautiful trade on Aussie Chef. This was a perfect trade. But I'm going to show you the entire process from start to finish. Because when I tell people, I mean, people think I'm nuts as it is, right? I mean, I was at an airport the other day, 2 days ago. I was at the airport 2 days ago, and randomly I met a Forex trader there. Don't know how. We were just at the bar, and he said, oh, I'm funded. What was he trading? Oh, he was trading trend lines. He was a trend line trader, and he was funded 200K with FTMO. And he asked me what I trade. And this is where it's like, you just think it's nuts, right? I mean, I do too. But it's like, he asked me what I trade. And I said, oh, I just trade the Mogwai reversal strategy. He goes, what's that? I was like, it's just a load of arrows with the trend. He's like, what time frame? I said, well, I trade on the seconds time frames off my mobile phone. And he just looked at me just like, who is this guy? And I'm like, I mean, welcome to my life. I mean, I know it's crazy, but yeah, that's literally how I trade. And yeah, someone asked me literally an hour ago, Jamie, can you cover it? And everyone was like, yeah, cover it, Jamie. It's a great topic. So we are. Enjoy the video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I look for trades and place trades on my mobile phone. Now, I've actually spent 90% of my trading career trading off the MT4 platform. So I've always had either a computer or laptop to do my analysis, to do my trading, and I didn't even think it was possible to trade off your mobile phone. But it wasn't until Michael Austin Mogwai created the Mogwai reversal strategy that I had to make that transitional period to the TradingView platform. And I remember at the time I was learning TradingView, and yeah, I just didn't like it. I generally didn't like it. I was so used to MT4. I find the MT4 platform is like a Nokia 3210. I don't know how old you are, but if you're back in the noughties, the 2000s, the Nokia 3210 would just, as a mobile phone, would never break. It just did its job, and that was it. And that's like MT4. It's just always there working. And when I moved over to TradingView, I didn't really like it. And now I absolutely love the platform. And one of the advantages with the TradingView platform is it's cloud-based. So you can trade it on both the TradingView, like, you know, the app, the desktop app, or on the website, and also on your mobile phone. So if I just load up my mobile phone, what we are going to do is we are going to go over an example, or we'll try and find your trade and show you how I do my analysis. So let me first of all just connect my mobile phone, and you're going to be able to see it all, because I get this question asked a lot, is how do I place my trades, or how do I look for trades off my mobile phone? So even though I trade off TradingView, or let's say I use the binary destroyer on TradingView, I still place my trades on the MT4 or MT5 app. Okay, so we're going to be taking a trade on the MT4 app, but I have both the MT4 and MT5. It just depends what trading account I'm trading at the time. Hold on, let me just, I'm going to mute the Telegram group. Give me a sec. I'm back. So yeah, it just depends what trading account I'm trading at the time, but I do all of my trading now off my mobile phone. So as you can see here, this is the Mogwai reversal strategy, the binary destroyer on TradingView. And this is what I normally do when I'm looking for a potential setup. So it depends what moves I'm feeling. I normally start my day on the 1 minute time frame, and what I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame are just potential setups. So I will scroll through all of the currency pairs, and then you can actually see my watch list. So my favorite is obviously gold, and then I have all of the majors, and then hold on, why have I got GPUSD? Oh, I need to move GPUSD up a bit. There we go, put it there. Okay. And then obviously down below I have Bitcoin, and then I have some exotics, some cross pairs, DAX, US 100, Apple, and I think some futures down here, and US 30 at the bottom. And what I'll simply do is imagine I've woken up. It is 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm currently in trade right now, actually, which I'll explain to you in a minute. And what I normally do is I will just look for this. Because I'm trading the Mogwai reversal strategy, let me just get rid of that. Because I'm trading the Mogwai reversal strategy, I'm looking for the start of a trend. So it's very important that we either have just crossed above the EMA, like this one here on the 1 minute, or we've just crossed below it, right? If it's been chopping sideways like this, so like here, so you see how it's kind of like been in a downtrend for a while and going sideways, I'm not interested. So let me show you what I would be particularly looking for. So as you can see here, we have just crossed into a downtrend here. So we've had our downtrend, we've had our first pullback, we've had our second pullback, and this would be a nice trade. Now, I'm not going to take this because the first pullback here has no structure. So for me, there would be no valid trade. But this is kind of what I'm looking for. You see how it's gone from a uptrend and then it's kind of just crossed over into a downtrend. That is lovely. And okay, GPUSD, USD CAD. USD CAD would actually be a nice no, that wouldn't be a valid setup. It's nice setup, but I'm looking for a perfect trade to take for you lot. Again, you see how GPUSD has been going in a downtrend for a while. I would normally just ignore that. Again, Aussie CAD, see how Aussie CAD's going up and down. It's constantly above the EMA, below the EMA, but above the EMA, below the EMA. Not interested in that one, right? And that is it. Actually, there is a beautiful trade. Absolutely. I'm going to enter, watch this, okay? So this is how I'm going to place this trade. I'm normally going to go into this trade. I'm going to go into this trade with 0 point like that there, okay? So this here is exactly what I am looking for in terms of a setup. So can you see how we've started to go sideways? So if I just, let me just turn the alerts off. Done, right? I've got too many alerts driving me insane. So you see how we've gone from a downtrend here. That's nice, okay? We have a confirmation of a trend. It is a clear confirmation of a trend. That's not black or white. Well, that is black or white, or that's not subjective, shall I say. That's clearly going down, right? Now, if I ask you here, what is price doing? Price is going sideways. You see how it's gone above the EMA, it's gone below the EMA, it's gone back above the EMA. Like, that is a consolidation. It's a range. It's obvious. And that's how trading should be. Obvious, right? Now, as you can see here, we've gone into an uptrend. Now, that's clearly, again, that's obvious. And this, you can see the pattern forming here. Everything I'm doing is obvious, it's clear, it is what it says it is. So if I just mark up my structure there, okay, that is my first pullback, and this is my second pullback there. So as you can see on this particular trade, if I just turn the alerts on, I'm going to change the... I didn't actually set this up to do this video, actually. I was doing something else. I was doing some simulating, right? But I don't know. Let me just go back to the 50, and I just want to check something, actually. So, oh, 5 minutes. Let's go to the 5 minutes here. There we go. That should produce an alert. Okay, no, right. So, as you can see here, we have our first pullback there, right? Why did I mark that one there? Because you can see there is structure. There's clearly some kind of level here where price has rejected from. Notice as well how it's just crossed above the EMA, right? Can you see how that first pullback there is a higher high, right? That is what it says it is, right? It is a higher high. When that appeared, there was nothing higher than that in that current uptrend, right? So then price has pulled back, created that structure, and we now have our second pullback there, right? Again, you see how it's created a higher high? It's pulled back. I'm sure if I turn my B alerts on, that would be an alert, but I'm not really, like I said, I don't normally have my B alerts on. There you go, there. You can actually see now. That's better. So you've now got the 5 minute higher time frame in my favor. I actually had that on the 15 minutes. So if I went to the 15, you'd actually see you'd see the setup here. You see the 5 minutes would appear down there. If I was to turn that off there. There we go there, right? I'm just messing around with alerts here, waiting for this trade to win. But you can see here, if I just go to, when's it going to load? Nope. Okay, let's just go back to add them in. And we're going to add this in here. I'm trying to find, what I'm doing is I'm playing around the settings to try and show you this perfect example. So you see here, right? You see how we've got the 5 minutes in our favor. We've got our, you know, B alert. I don't normally take the B alerts. It wouldn't matter if that was there or not. I'd still take the trade, right? But if I turn that off, what I'm ideally showing you is can you see how that is the start of an uptrend, right? You've got your higher high, you've got your pullback, you've got your higher high, you've got your pullback like that there. Now that I decided I want to take this trade, what are we doing about stop losses? What are we doing about take profits? So this is how I work it out. So I don't place my trades on TradingView. The only reason being is because I don't really know how to do it. I know that sounds quite embarrassing, but I'm very much of an old school trader, right? If it works, it works. I'm not going to change. I'm not into the latest and greatest technology and all of that. I know how to use the buy and destroy on TradingView. I'm happy. I know how to place my trades on MT4. I'm happy with that, right? I don't need to learn anything else. So when I take this trade, what I would do is I will put my long position here. When it loads, give me a sec here. Hold on here. When it loads, give me a sec here. I'm trying to long position. There we go there. Done. Right. Okay. So same again. I want to put my stop loss ideally just there. So you can see how my stop loss is 10 pips, right? That's good. It's protected by 2 areas of support. You can see, which is nice. It's protected. Now I will then set a take profit of a 1 to 2, but I will take partials at a 1 to 1. So regardless of what I'm trying to explain to is, you see that pullback there? You see how deep that pullback is? Ideally, I would like to get a 1 to 1 round there. So what I probably would do on this occasion is I would use a 9 pip stop loss, and my partials would be just there, right? So we're very close to partial sort of thing. So for me, that would be a 1 to 1 there. Obviously, I've entered this trade late, but we should, and I say should, this is more experience, is we should, it looks like we're ejecting from the top of that high just there. See that? So it looks like maybe we're creating that third pullback, but we'll see, right? Let's get rid of that. So when we are in this trade, right, get rid of that here. Okay, this is how I want to take the trade. So what I would do, because some people always ask me, is do I physically set a stop loss and take profit? It depends on the time frame that I'm currently on. So if I'm trading the seconds time frames, then no, I won't set a stop loss. I will manually watch it. However, if I'm on like the 5 minutes, or I'm going sleep, or I'm out and about, let's say I've got to drive somewhere, or just generally I know I'm not going to have my phone with me, then yes, I would set a stop loss. So the way I do it is I would do something like this. Is I would, if it was taking partials at a while, I can't take partials if I'm not actually looking at the trade. What I would normally do, and this is very interesting, is obviously I'm going to set my stop loss. Now, because I've set my level there, if you look at the right just there where it says 0.79666869, that is where my stop loss is. So then I would go into the MT4 app, I would click on the trade, modify, and then I would set my stop loss like that, okay? And I would do the exact same if it was, if it was a take profit as well. Now, what you can do to take partials, right? Because let's say you can't watch the phone or you can't watch anything. Sorry about that. I had to answer the phone. What I was saying is, when it comes to taking partials and you can't physically watch it, you can actually set an alert. So what you can do is you can work out where your 10 pip, for me, it would be partials at a 1 to 1. What you can do is you can set an alert or at the level, right? So let's say you want to bring up a level. So let me just bring up a level. I won't do it. I'll do it with here, right? So let's just imagine I want to set a 1 to 1 here. What you can do is when you hit a 1 to 1, which for me would be 10 pips, I can set an alert at 0.79872. You see the number on the right. So when price hits this, I can then, I'll get an alert, boom, okay, I know I need to take partials. Once I take my partials, I can then move up my stop loss like that to break even. Obviously, if I move my stop loss up like this here, you're going to have to go into here and manually edit here. Now, let me just show you how I would take partials on this trade. So let's just hypothetically imagine we're now coming up to our 1-to-1 on this trade. What I would do is I would hold the trade like this here, close, and then I would close off 0.15. Done. Okay. So as you can see here, I still have 0.5 still open. And you can see I've just closed off 0.15 like that. Okay. So that's at 80-90%, something like that. And that is how I would manage a trade off my mobile phone. And that is, like you can see here, prices slowly coming up there. And hopefully I think we've actually come to our partials there. But that is how we would effectively trade off our mobile phone. It's actually a very good trade. Look how good the trade that is. Beautiful. Some top tips that I would give you if you're going to place your trades off your mobile phone or trade off your mobile phone. What is it sometimes always good is to put your phone sideways like this here, right? Because that will tell you what roughly price is doing. So as you can see here, price has been going sideways like this here, and then now we're starting to go into an uptrend. You can actually see we're starting to go into that uptrend, which is nice. And that is a beautiful trade. I'm actually just going to close that trade off there. Mainly because I don't want to sit in this trade all day into late. And this is not actually my trading account. This is my robots trading account, which I don't really want to be trading because it messes up the statistics on my FX book if I start, closing trades. So yeah, this is kind of like how I trade off my mobile phone. As you can see, it was a nice trade. Things to remember, like I said, try and always confirm that trend. Make sure everything is as says it is. This is clearly a higher high. That is clearly a higher low. It has now created a higher high. And that is it. In terms of learning, risk reward, what do I set my lot sizes at? Based on experience, tend to just go into trades with a fixed lot size. So I'll either go into a trade with 1 lot or 3 lots or 5 lots. It depends. If you are going to work out if you want to work out your risk reward, what you can do, if I do it very, very quickly, is you can do it on your phone. I'm just going to put it in here. Here is what you can do is you can go to my FX book position size calculator, and what you can actually do is you can actually save this on your mobile phone, which is quite good. So as I was saying, is what you can do is you can actually save this as a favorite. So let's just imagine GPUSD. So I'm taking a trade on GPUSD. Okay, my account size is obviously, my account currency is obviously GP pound. Let's say I've got a £5,000 and I want to risk, I don't know, 2% on this trade. Okay, my stop loss was 10 pips. I already worked it out. And then from here, right, it's going to tell me my lot size. So you can see here, account currency, GPUSD, 5,000. I'm risking 2% on the trade. And my stop loss is 10 pips. And it's telling me my lot size, which is 1.36. So obviously, when I go back to this trade here, right, beautiful, trade's just gone flying. When you set your stop loss at 10 pips, you already know now when you go back to the position size calculator what that stop loss size is, because you're doing it with the the risk reward on TradingView, right? Now, because if I go back to here, it tells me how much money I'm going to lose on this trade. So if I lose this trade at 10 pips with that lot size, I'm going to lose £100. But that also means that at a 1-to-1, I'm also making £100 too. So when this trade hits 10 pips like this here, I'll close off, I don't know, £90, right? Or £80 profit. I move my stop loss up, and then I know if I hit 20 pips, I'll get that extra bit of money, extra 50 quid or whatever out of this trade. And that's how I trade. Oh, that's a beautiful trade. I'm getting, how good was that? I caught that right. I caught that perfectly at the right time. But that's how we would place our trades off our mobile phone. And yeah, like I said, what I normally would do is have this saved as a favorite. So you work everything out on TradingView. Well, this is what I would do if you trade on a different platform, or if you're placing your trades on TradingView itself, or MT4 or CTrader or MT5 or even Ninja. This is how I would do it. I would work my stop loss and take profit based on by this. I would then go into here to get my lot size, and then I would go back into MT4, and then I would work it out like that. So yeah, that's how to trade off your mobile phone. I hope you enjoyed that quick video. That was a beautiful trade on USD Chef, 1 minute time frame. I hope you enjoyed that video.